And then I got that hot feeling like I was going to pass out. And then it was a rental car and I didn't know where the door handle was. And so I thought I was going to vomit now because it's like all this stuff happens at once, right? And so I couldn't find the door handle. So I'm like, put my legs, my head between my legs, and then I'll be able to stop from passing out because I knew I was fixing to pass out. But that's not what happened. I went down to go, like I was going to pass out. And then the next thing I know, it's like, boop! I'm in this black void. And it's silent. And I said, where the heck am I? And as I was saying it, I looked down and I don't even have a body.
Good evening. Welcome to the show, Earth to the Other Side. I'm John Glaspel, your host. And tonight I am speaking with Christi Kisling, who had two NDEs, one back in December 2020 and the other one in March of 2021. I am so happy to have you on the show. Welcome to the channel.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So go ahead and tell us what happened back on the 14th of December in 2020.
Well, my husband and I were celebrating our 21st wedding anniversary out in Las Vegas. And the week was fun. We went on a helicopter ride, gambling, stayed at the Bellagio. It was great. So it's time to go home. We get in the car. We're on our way to the airport. He likes to leave early. We left an hour early. On top of the 2 hours to be there early. So we go to Starbucks and we get a Starbucks and we're driving down the highway to the airport. And all of a sudden I'm like, I took a sip of my Starbucks and I felt really tired. And I remember thinking, I should have got an espresso. Like, I don't think this was enough. I should have got an espresso. And then I got that hot feeling like I was going to pass out. And then it was a rental car and I didn't know where the door handle was. And so I thought I was going to vomit now because it's like all this stuff happens at once, right? And so I couldn't find the door handle. So I'm like, put my legs, my head between my legs, and then I'll be able to stop from passing out because I knew I was fixing to pass out. But that's not what happened. I went down to go, like I was going to pass out. And then the next thing I know, it's like, boop! I'm in this black void. And it's silent. And I said, where the heck am I? And as I was saying it, I looked down and I don't even have a body. And I'm trying to think, who am I? Because I've passed out. This is part of my condition. I've been passing out, but never have I experienced this. And so I have this checklist, who am I? Where do I live? And I got to who am I? And that's a darn good question because I don't have a body. So who am I? And then I started trying to look around, without a body, but I'm looking for hands and looking and there's nothing but blackness. And then as I started to question where I was and trying to make sense of it, I started to float. And then I'm backwards. I have this painting behind me because I'm floating. And then I see all these stars and the galaxy and the universe. And it was crazy. It was just where am I? I was very aware that I wasn't where I was supposed to be. And as I looked around, I didn't, I listened to some of these people and they see, people and God or people to meet them there. And there was nobody there to meet me. And I didn't see God. But I did see the universe and I got to go just beaming. Wherever I thought I wanted to go is where we went. And I remember taking it in and looking at it all because it was I knew I wasn't going to stay. It was I wanted to take it all in so I wouldn't forget it. So I wouldn't forget. And I painted a picture because I just saw this beautiful colors, almost like looking through one of those telescopes, the kid ones, with all the colors and dimensions. And it was breathing. Yeah. Now, like I said, there was nobody there and I didn't see anybody, but yet I was communicating with something, with a presence. And I remember asking who am I? And I knew I was Christi. And And then there was this presence, like, letting me know I was okay. And then as I looked around, there was like all this redness down at the bottom. And I remember asking, like, well, what about all the people that hurt us? You know, what about all those people that hurt me? And then it was almost like, don't worry about that. We're all connected. They got to deal with that. And there was a lot of direction, like this redness was down to the left, right? The universe is like never ending. Like we beamed through this way and that way. It was incredible. And this feeling of bliss, that was the word I came back with that I've never even spoken before my near-death experience, was the word bliss. There was just this overwhelming love and bliss being in this environment and just feeling like this was me. I'm free. Everything I've ever wanted was like in that moment, like just beaming around. So the word bliss was really big because the sound, there was no sound there at all. It was completely quiet, and the sounds had been bothering me because of my nervous system. So that was something that I was very aware of. Just this overwhelming bliss, and that we're all connected, and that love is God and God is love. Like that's kind of like what I came back with. It's all about love, forgiveness and love, and that we're connected and that the universe is never ending. And I feel like my energy in my body went straight to where we came from. Like I felt totally at home there and so happy. And it's been really hard being back.
When do you think you realized that you were dead?
I don't know that I know that. Like I didn't think of anybody back on Earth either. I knew who I was though. But when I got to that checklist though about where do I live, that question never even got to come through. Because then all of a sudden I could feel the sensation of flying, and I started seeing the stars and the galaxies and the universe, and being able to go to this colorful, bright, breathing aluminum, just in awe. I actually, ended up having a seizure on the side of the road. And so, there's no like doctor to say I was completely dead. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But to follow through with the next thing that happened, the doctors induced it. And so, they could show like, yeah, your heart keeps stopping for 10 seconds at a time. So this experience in our time was like maybe less than 10 seconds. But for me, it changed my whole world,
Wow, that's incredible. The sense of no time, timelessness. It's amazing that you experienced so much in such little time. Right?
It felt like a long time. So I was with this presence, right? And I remember asking like a couple questions. I tried to write them down. Like I was trying to distinguish what I was saying and what I got back from them or it, or, so hard to describe because there was like nobody there. It was all in my mind, but there. And my voice was, who am I? I am Christi. What about those who hurt me? And where are they going? Because I saw thousands of white lights, like orbs going this way. But so the universe is here, all the galaxies, but within like a tube, all these white lights were shooting to the left, but just within this area. And I remember asking like, well, where are they going? Like, where do they get to go? Because I just went all this area. Like, where do they get to go? Because I'm excited, like, where are they going? But when I asked that was it. Where are they going? And then the most terrifying departure back to Earth, like, and I felt enclosed in this body all of a sudden. I could not move. I could not open my eyes. All it was color, like being in an elevator going super duper fast with the jiggling right? And I was thinking, oh, well, maybe that was the car, Craig trying to get to the side of the road when I was, having a seizure and we were jiggling. He's like, no, baby, we were already parked. We've been parked on the side of the road.
Wow.
And then that was like, no, you're kidding me, because the vibration, and I could not move. We were going so fast down back into my body. And then the first thing that came back was the sounds, which was, I could feel the vibration, which I thought was a car, but my first thought was I was driving. No thought of family yet, or being in Vegas or anything, just this elevator. And then the vibration felt like a car. So that was my first thought. I was in a car. And then I could, and then I still couldn't open my eyes. I couldn't move my arms. And I was praying to God I wasn't driving, because I was going to kill somebody, because I could not control this car. I really thought I was driving. So I had no concept of where I was, or coming back into the body. It was, but a car, because of the vibration. But then I was told that we were already on the side of the road for a while. So it was not the car. Yeah. So yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. And I call it, my shifting spirit, that's kind of like the little motto I've made in my brain. It's exhausting, going there and then back. And then he did, because we were in Vegas, we just got on the plane and he took me home. But on the plane, I can't think straight. I was weak. He was trying to get me home, and then we were going to deal with what just happened.
So you never actually saw a doctor or went to the hospital or anything when this happened?
Not in Vegas. Yeah, not in Vegas. Well, I got back, February, I was out in the garage, cleaning out the garage, the Florida heat. It was, even in February, it's still hot here. I was hot anyway, cleaning out the garage. And this voice in my head said, be still. I'm like, okay, that's weird. And I keep cleaning, be still. I'm like, what? And as I bend down, I'm feeling flush, right? And I didn't know at the time, but my heart kept giving out, and I wasn't like clinically aware of it yet, but by me bending and cleaning, and then really loud, like, you can't deny this voice, be still. And I was like, oh my God. So I ran past my dad, and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I got to sit on the couch. This voice just tells me to be still over and over again. I don't know what to do. Like, and I don't feel good. So I'm just going to be still. Like, that's what it's telling me to do. Just be still. And good thing, because at a 70-degree angle, my heart would stop. I don't know why. It's an electrical thing. So they had to put in a pacemaker in April. But before they put in the pacemaker is when they put me on that tilt table test first, and made my heart stop. That experience was totally different, but just as exciting to me.
Yeah. So
I'm in this tilt table. Do you know what I'm talking? Like a bed, like a hospital bed, and they strap you down, and then they lift you up, and then they put you down, right? But slowly, right? So I guess at a 70-degree angle is when, no notice, nothing. My heart just stopped. But in my mind, where I was, is like I say, that shifting spirit. Because again, so before I popped up into the void, and then it was that turmoil, terrifying, coming back. But this one, I was like, zoom, to the floor. I could see all the doctors rushing in, because my heart had stopped. And they were actually in another room, and I could hear them laughing and having fun before that, because it was just me and this little nurse. And then I could see all them coming in, and the doctor yelling at her, why didn't you tell me her heart was something? And she's like, there was no notice. She just flatlined. The heart gave no like slow beat. It just was beep, beep, beep. Yeah, we're done. But I was on the floor watching this conversation. And as I looked around, I was with microbe organisms, very teeny tiny. And that's how I got my puppy. She's a toy Maltese. She's teeny tiny. And like so tiny. And dust balls and organisms. And it was like, I realized that those organisms were more important to this earth than us humans. We are so insignificant to these microbes and I don't know, like coronavirus, I don't know, maybe that's why it's in there. But I mean, that's what I'm just insignificant to these viruses that were on the floor. I was on the floor with them, but I could see all the doctors and hear what they were saying. And then I went back up into my body. So it's just, anyway.
Teeny tiny with a body?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I didn't feel like I was going to pass out when they did that. It's a good point. I didn't do a checklist. I just was teeny tiny and all this dust and dirt. Like I felt like I was with molecules and microbes and, and they are so much more important to this world and to this universe than we as humans are. Like we can be extinct tomorrow, but not without those. They're so much more important than us. What am I supposed to get from this? I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to find it out.
In your first experience, the December one, were you, because you mentioned that you didn't have a body, did you feel anything?
No.
Or did you just know that
no
you
pain.
were in complete darkness? Okay.
Deep darkness, no pain. And I love not having that pain because I was in so much pain when I went into the doctors because with passing out, you'd fall a lot. So got a lot of bruises and head trauma.
Were you okay with being there or like for the rest of eternity?
Thinking back on it now, that's a very good question. I have thought about that in a way that, I listened to some of your podcasts where they were saying, they knew their parents before they got here or they picked their parents. I don't have that. I don't know any of that. Mm-hmm. But I was thinking, there's the only way the spirit can come to earth and enjoy rain, food, wind, just like the universe is so different. This is so different, you know what I mean? And I think I would really miss the wind. And I can see if we do pick our parents, this was my point. If we do pick our parents, I can see why we want to come back to earth. That's my point. Because if you're in the universe and you're expanding, it never ends and you're floating around forever and that's fun energy. But I can see where the spirit might want to come back to earth, even through all the drama, but up there is no wind and, you can't experience the intimacy, that kind of love. I don't know up there, I guess. I don't know. You don't have a body, So.
I think it's 3 feet in front of us wherever we are, but that's just my thing. I wonder if do you think that maybe everyone sort of has the ability to fabricate their own heaven, their heavenly realm, or just after life experience, you know what I mean? So like for you, it may have been seeing that universe and then in the next one being with the molecules, but maybe that's only a part of it. Perhaps, you were only dead a couple of seconds, maybe 1 second for the second one, right? So my point is that had you maybe actually died, you might have had other experiences with different heavens and you might have even experienced wind. You might have seen
or in the different
relatives.
realms. I'm really interested in the quantum physics and different realms now because I truly feel I went to, and it's like the shifting spirit, like getting sucked up and down and then up and down. It's exhausting. It's like, and then now that I have a pacemaker, I'm mad a little bit because I'm like, I can't get there now, even through meditation. I hear some people can, and I wish I could, but I'm not there yet. But I can just sit and make myself think about my experience over and over and over again so I don't lose it. Because it was just, I've never felt so much love. And honestly, I came back and just, it's about family and where am I needed and how can I serve? 100%. I definitely have no fear of dying anymore, though. That's definitely like it. Even my family members and friends that have passed, I feel like I've, God's made me a cheerleader for him, to just stand beside them, even though I know they're hurting, please know they're in a great space, perhaps it is whatever space you want it to be, maybe that is it. I didn't know, I'm not real religious, my parents never took me to church. So I don't have that mindset, like anything preconditioned.
Mhm.
Maybe that's why. You know? Yeah, I could have stayed there. I could have stayed there. It's weird that the sense of direction, I tried to keep a sense of direction in space. I tried to get myself where I'm like an outsider looking where I think I was, and what was there, and that was there, and this was there, that was going left, and it's kind of weird to me that the sense of directions. So now when somebody says left or right, I'm like left. There's all those lights were going left. So I'm like left. Left is the answer.
So you never found out where those orbs or lights or spirits were going in
I'm
that
assuming they were coming here because that's where I got sent. Got sent right back here. Like there was nothing. Where are they going?
Interesting.
And I had to go with them. It's like, oh, you're still awake. You don't get to stay. I really was awake. I've never been so alive.
Yeah.
You know, it's I really am like this glee in me, and I know, when your heart stops, you go somewhere, and it's amazing. So just, that's all I can say. It's amazing. So and hearing so many different near-death experiences, it's crazy how we all have so different ones, but we all have lived different lives, and we're all different people. So shouldn't our heaven be different for everybody?
For sure. I have this conversation often with people because they'll ask me, because I talk to so many NDEers, and well, I mean, the way I look at it is, and I'm going to use the same example I always use because it's the best one. If 3 different people or families went to Disneyland, they're all going to come back with different experiences. Not everyone went on that ride, or maybe we went in that direction and had a whole different day than you did.
I remember in the beginning, I didn't want to listen to other people's near-death experiences. My mom was trying to, well, let's listen to them. Like, I don't want them to interfere with what I had. Like when I started listening, like, wait, no, I have my own.
Yeah.
And I am grateful to to still be here with my family and my boys, and I have 3 wonderful sons. So great husband, and now I have 2 puppies, all because of the experience.
Right.
So
explain the puppies.
Well, because I came back and I was telling everybody that I got sucked down, and so and then having the operation for the pacemaker, my husband's like, what can I do to make you happy, honey? And I was like, I really want a puppy. So he took me to get my teeny tiny puppy.
Nice. So before you had this near-death experience, or both these near-death experiences, had you ever heard of a near-death experience?
And I heard of it, but never paid attention to even what NDE meant. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, this is all so new to me. And that's what I'm saying. I didn't know what happened. So I felt like a crazy person sitting in the corner of the wall, shaking, going, I have no idea. And then I kept trying to ask my husband, when did I first start talking about it? When did I first mention it? Like, where did this come from? How did it get in my brain? Because I wanted him to say me, oh, well, you popped out of it and you started talking about it. And he can't even quite remember how I started describing what happened. He goes, you just started talking about what happened, where you were. So, it, like you said, time may tell more, because just as the experience happened, I didn't even know it happened until a couple days later. It started sinking in. What in the hell happened there? Like,
even if you didn't see God, or you didn't see Auntie Joan, or whatever, it doesn't matter. The fact is that what you experienced is pretty intense.
Complete bliss.
That kind of bliss and love and expanse. It's hard for us to understand exactly.
And what the words, like what I heard back from the universe was, and this is a big one, it's okay. Which my grandmother died when I was 16, right? And I was terribly devastated. And then she, as an angel, came to me, and it was just her and a white light. And I swear to God, I was awake. And I'm looking up at, and I just cannot believe it's her. But as she's like 20 years old, but like just pure white light. And all she says, I'm okay. I'm okay. That's all she said to me, but that was enough to get me to stop crying and carrying on, and dealing with her passing. And then in the universe, that again, that was another big thing they kept saying is it's okay, because I had gone through some childhood trauma, and like, what about those people that hurt me? I was really concerned about that. And it's okay. I'm like, oh, okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're all connected. And that's when I saw this redness, though, over here to the bottom left was a strong strip of redness. It's okay. They got to deal with who they are. You need to like yourself, and I felt like I was sarcastic up there. I was still me. And that means a lot to me I know me, and I'm me no matter what dimension I'm in.
And after the second one, did you speak to the doctor or doctors, nurses, anyone?
Well, it's funny you say that. The lady that was getting yelled at from the doctor, when she came over to disconnect me after they woke me back up, right? She's leaning down in my ear. Remember your dream. Remember your dream. And I was very agitated when I woke up. I was angry when I woke up. I remember I wanted to punch the doctor, and the F word was coming out, and I'm not like that with doctors, but for some reason I called, because the shifting of the spirit, like coming back into my body, and I was angry. I was just like, that's what I said, is what the fuck is going on? And I went up to like punch my doctor. Now I asked Dr. Hazlitt, and he said, no, you did not punch me. But that's like the feeling I felt is when I was found out I was back in this body. It was like, oh, what is going on? You're like, stop doing this,
But they did confirm that your heart had stopped, right?
Oh yeah, 10 seconds.
10
it
seconds,
stopped because I was like at a 70-degree angle, and they had to get the bed flat again before my heart would even start back up. And running around with the molecules and microbes, and I felt like I learned so much from them. Like, we are nothing as humans. Like, we are really blessed to be here. We take it for granted being on this planet, because the planet can go on without us. 100%. And I know that's probably obvious to a lot of people, but to me, it came to me like that.
Well, that's a valuable lesson, because it can affect how you proceed with the rest of your life on so many levels.
We don't hurt ants, flies, the teeniest, tiniest. No, we're going to save that ant from the pool. We're going to save that little bug,
we can't save everyone, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, So since your experiences, have you noticed anything different? Have you had extrasensory experiences?
I've kind of had to ask my spirit guides to stop. I can't sleep at night. All these faces keep coming to me, all nationalities, all different faces. And I wish I could take their picture, or paint their pictures, because I'm just like, they got to stop. I got to go to sleep. And I wonder if it was all those white lights, all those spirits coming that I saw, like in that mix. I don't know. It doesn't do me any good to see these visions of these people, but it's just their faces, and they fade in and out, all of them. And, I talked to my mom, and she's the only one I can really talk about it too. She's kind of open-minded and like, what? Oh my God. So we went and talked to somebody, and they told me I could ask my spirits to stop, and it has stopped. Maybe my mom would say, maybe the spirit world, because I'm so close to it now, in a sense, maybe they're coming through me and trying to say. So I even asked, if you wanted me to a message, tell me. Oh, golly, yeah. So when my stepdad died, there was a lot of emotional response to him dying, in a sense of like, yes, there has been some weird things coming out of my mouth that I don't know where they come from. And it was something that my mom needed to hear from my dad, or she found because I said something. Like a yellow sheet of paper just kept coming into my brain over and over again. So I told my mom, and I knew it was from my stepdad. And I'm like, he's just a yellow piece of paper. And she found it in the computer, this yellow thing. It got stuck and it kept floating down like a piece of paper and kept floating. And she's trying to get into this file. When she got into the file, it was a "I love you, happy birthday, love your husband," who had passed away. And he's not like that either. He doesn't write like that. Like, he's not one to write like that. And my grandmother passed away, and my boss, and a lot of two other friends. So it's just been a lot of loss. And I just keep drawing from this experience to get me through it and to help others.
But thank you so much for being on the show and
Thank
sharing
you.
your story and for your time, and really
I
appreciate
appreciate
it.
you listening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing more of you and hearing more of you and keeping in
Appreciate it.
touch.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate that.
All right.
All right. Thank
Thank
you
you so much.
again.
It was great talking to you.
You too. It was wonderful.
Have a great night.
All right. You too. Take
All
care.
right. Bye.
Bye.